Oh God. Oh God.
Dinosaur Love.
Oh God.
I don't even know where to start with this one.
Hi guys, welcome to Lovecast, the BL podcast. I am your host Alexa, and as always I have my fellow hosts Kayla and Pixie with me.
Hello.
Hello.
Today we are doing a list episode. It's been a while since we've done a bit of a list episode, and we're doing one that, what's the word I'm looking for? It's probably going to bring some reactions to people, from people, maybe. It depends, I guess, on where we land on the spectrum. But we are going to be talking about shows that made us mad. And we're using the term mad very loosely, I think. It could be one certain aspect of the plot that made you mad. It could be an entire show that just pissed you off the whole time you were watching it. It could be a particular scene or just one thing. At least that's how I interpreted it, because I was saying, like, I have a hard time thinking of like entire shows that made me mad, because at this point I just drop things as soon as I start to not vibe with things. So like I'm not gonna finish a show that like the entire show is making me angry. So I had to think of more things where it was like certain plot points or things that happen like later in the show, maybe.
Yeah. Unless we, the patrons, make us do a review of something, then we have to watch it.
True. Yeah, that's the only time I will finish something that I'm not particularly interested in. But like usually, like every once in a while, like our patrons usually pick pretty good stuff for us to review. But every once in a while, there have been some that we've definitely not vibed with for whatever reason. But if I'm watching it for my own personal interest, like the second I drop things, even if I do like them, just for the most obscure reason. So the second something makes me mad, like I don't push myself to finish it. So I had to get a little creative with shows, why these shows made me mad, but I did come up with some.
I have a few.
I have a lot. This was not hard for me at all. In fact, this was quite easy.
I love that. I love the difference of us. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm also in the way that I will forget. I will rant about the show until I got it out of my system, and then I'll forget it. Like forget the bad memories and live on.
Just delete it from your mind.
Repress
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
There's definitely probably some, I was like going through my drama list to try and remember, but I feel like there's definitely probably some that made me angry that I just have blacked out from my memory. But I got some. So yeah. Well, Kayla, you seem to be ready to go. Do you want to start us off?
Okay, well, let me give a bit of a disclaimer. I have 8 shows in total, but I only have like thorough rants for 3 of them. More like 2 of them. Okay. But I honestly think you guys are gonna agree with some of these, and I know Pixie's gonna agree with my first one. So, that being said, I think the top show, the number one show that I think of that made me really, really mad was Playboyy.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Playboyy. The trauma. So you guys might remember that when the show was airing, me and Pixie were doing those weekly recaps of the episodes with our friends Banana and Kim over at Anshul Media. So like if you do remember that, then this will come as no surprise that like I was so infuriated by this show. We all were. We all had issues with it, but it really dug deep for me, I think, because I saw certain aspects in it that I thought were really good, and I felt like they were wasted, essentially. So, like, yeah, it's the wasted potential, I think, that really had me so infuriated, because the premise of the show is very daring. It's very interesting. And the way they promoted it almost felt like they were doing so in a very pro sex work way, which is
Right.
why I gravitated towards it. I was like, it's almost
Same.
like they're trying to do like advocacy through art in a way.
Yeah.
And I know that like because I liked Copy A Bangkok's work in the past, and I know that they always have something important to say, I was like, of course, this is probably going to be good. But I just think they focused so much on the aesthetics rather than the actual story. And I love a good aesthetic. I love an aesthetic. Like the series, the cinematography was beautiful. So much like imagery that I thought had symbolism, but I guess it didn't. So much imagery. Like the settings were all like, you could tell they spent so much money filming at some of these places. And the wardrobe was probably like the highlight of the show. Like the wardrobe and the styling of the characters was on point. But I don't know. The story itself, like, they had all the elements of a good missing person / murder mystery. But I don't know. Like, the suspense and the plot twists, so to speak, they didn't really live up to what I expected. Like, it was very predictable. The ending was so anticlimactic. And I kind of get the ending in a way. Like, I know that they wanted to end this series with, like, this deep, haunting message about how, well, things never really change for people who are disenfranchised. Like, this is just, like, the way that things are, especially for, I guess, like, sex workers and, like, this underground crime type scene that they had scene that they had going on. But I just feel like there were too many loose ends and there were too many things that just didn't fully add up for the ending to make the impact that they wanted it to.
Yeah. I think some of the issues as well was this was one of those shows that once again get like ruined by being such a big ensemble. Like you don't get the fleshed out story of anything. It's just like a half thing.
God, yeah. Talk about couples.
I did not watch the show, but I know it was one that I don't think is going to happen anymore, but was originally supposed to have a second season. Do you think that was part of it as well? Like one of those shows that plans for resolving things in a season 2 and then that season 2 doesn't come?
Yeah, they definitely set it up for a season 2. I know that they even started doing casting the other month for a season 2.
So maybe it is still happening.
Yeah, it's going to be like a completely new cast, it seems like. We'll see if it actually comes to fruition. But I don't know. Part of me is like, I want to see what it's like. But also, like, are they not going to complete the story that they told in the first season? Because there's still so many unanswered questions. And, like, it's like, are we supposed to just, like, suspend our disbelief and be like, oh, I guess that's just how things were.
It's just over. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. And I know that a lot of people, I think because a lot of people were really critical of this show. But I feel like a lot of people's criticism had to do with, like, the amount of sex that was in the show, which I don't really understand that criticism because, like, they worked at a brothel, essentially.
Yeah.
So, like, that's
the
whole
show
premise
is
of the story.
literally about prostitution. So, if you're not going to have any sex in it, I would question that.
Right.
I think for me, like, the only positives I've heard from people are, like, people talking about the actors, the pairings. That's the only positives I've ever heard people talk about Playboyy. And that is not a great sign. I was so on the hype train for this when it was announced, when we got trailers, everything. Like, I was on that train. Like, I love drama, and I love that they're actually going for the darker storytelling. But they failed. I honestly, it's probably because there was too many people in the story, but I just the show made me so mad. I barely managed to finish it. Like, I forgot about it. Like, literally, I forgot that Playboyy ever existed before you said it. I'm just like, that is...
It has been haunting me because I, like, at the time, I really loved the character that Deck was playing. Like, probably one of my favorite characters ever. And I was just, I was thinking recently about, like, how he was so wasted in that show. Like, well, his performance was so good, and I feel like everything else just overshadowed it. But I feel like my main criticism of Playboy when it comes down to it is that they didn't really pinpoint one story that they wanted to tell. Like, they were trying to do way too much. They had so many different themes going on, and I feel like it just would have been more impactful and would have been less confusing, honestly, if they just focused on like one or two major plot points instead of like having every single character have an insane plot.
Yeah, I think like if they wanted to do like the whole insane plot for every appearing, they should have done it more like the 10-liners. Perfect 10-liners, because then you'll like get it separated somehow. It was too messy. There was so much happening and you couldn't focus, and it was just overstimulating to watch. Like I watch these shows to enjoy myself, not like have an aneurysm from all the drama.
Ah, man, I was really holding on to like the very last episode for there to be some crazy ass plot twist, because like you think they're setting it up for that the whole time, and then it's exactly what it looks like. It's exactly what it looks like. So I'm like, what was the point of all these episodes? Like, we could have maybe told this story in 10 episodes. I don't know. It's almost like they thought that like they could hide behind like these pretty camera shots and like random red herrings. And I'm like, that did not distract me. Like, it was really nice aesthetically, but it didn't distract me from the fact that this show made no fucking sense, and it pissed me off.
Yeah, I'm kind of mad that they didn't make more of a political statement with it too, because they could have done so much with that. The stage was set to make a like statement with this show, but nope.
It was like very surface level.
Yeah.
In the end, like I remember even like we were trying to pick out symbolism in the show. Like I remember Kim was like, maybe the headlines, the news headlines in the beginning of every episode connect to the story, and they just like didn't.
No.
They just put them in there for aesthetic again. Like nothing actually had symbolism behind it, which was really disappointing to me. Even from like a literary standpoint, I was like, what is the point of this if you're just including it to look cool?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lazy.
But that's my rant about Playboy. It does kind of live in my head rent-free, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think often about how Playboy pissed me off. But I digress.
Yeah.
It's valid.
It's like that sometimes.
I have one that very, very... Like, the moment we began talking about this topic, I was just like, okay, this is the one. And that is, I've said this before, obviously, because it's an old show. Oxygen is like the, I am so, listen. Okay, the worst part is that, like, Oxygen isn't a show that I just forgot about either, because I think the rest of it is great. It's just that one part that is so infuriatingly... Why did they do that? The relation, for those who haven't seen Oxygen, they have like a plot line with the doctor, right? And they start off teasing you with the two doctors, male doctors, and they have like this kind of bond relationship. They're teasing you with that. But this doctor ends up with the girl.
Well, kind of, because doesn't he also almost end up with her brother, who's a high school student?
Her younger brother. Okay, and dude, there's a plot line where she gets sick, and she doesn't look sick, and like she suddenly just like keels over. I can't even remember how it happens. I've just blocked it out of my mind. the whole part. I am so mad I can't form thoughts right now. This is such an infuriating thing because the show is actually pretty good if you look past that. Like I've rewatched it a couple of times. I have to like just speed through the scenes with the girl in it. And it's so unfair. Like I'm fine with them having like a straight plot thing. Just don't make it like the doctor, like there's some predatory stuff going on there with the kid and oh god, I can't.
Yeah, that's one of those things where like I block that storyline out from my mind because like
Yeah.
I remember like the doctors, I remember the girl, but I honestly forgot that they had involved like her younger brother in it as well. And like I think that I blocked that part out of my mind.
Yeah, I'm just like I am doing a really bad to like explaining this because I've honestly blocked it out. I just remember how furious I was watching that.
I actually remember a lot of the details from Oxygen. And so it was that she got sick with COPD. Which you like, only really get if you're a chain smoker.
If you're a smoker, yeah.
Yeah, or you work in a mine.
Yeah, or like constantly exposed to, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a tough job working at a coffee place.
Apparently.
Like, what, 20 years old?
Apparently. And then she was like, she's a Fujishi, like hardcore, which is like
right.
Another...
She was shipping the two doctors. Wasn't that part of it?
I think it was she was shipping the doctors, but
yeah, but he was in love with her, right? And the whole thing with the little brother was at like towards the end.
Yeah, it was like the final episode or something, and I think they were like giving the vibe that like the brother had a crush on him. Like maybe it was one-sided, but they left it up for interpretation, which is almost worse.
Like it could happen, and you're like, no, don't make anyone think it could happen.
No, hated that. Yeah,
funny.
Absolutely. But I think like the show is worth watching if you just ignore that.
Yeah, I mean it is like a side story, so like you could still watch the main two.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for the story. That's another thing. Like, you could have taken that out. It would have meant nothing for the story. It's a filler. Okay, I'm banging my desk.
Beating yourself up.
It's real.
You're angry.
It's getting real.
Oh my god.
Oh,
okay.
Lord.
Yes. I'll calm down.
Okay. Okay, my top two that I have the most things to say about are two that I have talked about at different points in the podcast before, but I'll just start with the one that I've probably talked about the most because it's existed for longer. That's Together With Me, the next chapter. I have said time and time again how much hatred and anger this drama made me feel while it was airing. Because like obviously like when they were active I was a big fan of Max and Tool as a pairing. Together With Me was like one of the first BL shows that I watched, and retroactively like I can look back on it and see like a lot of flaws in that show as it exists, but like it's one of those things where like you appreciate it for the time. And like I was so excited for that show to get a season 2, and that show just like had every single trope that I hate about season 2 of TV in general, but especially with BLs. Like the whole thing was built on endless like miscommunication and implied cheating and undoing of character development that they spent the entirety of like season 1 of Together With Me building up between the characters of Korn and Nok. Even like Yihua, who was like one of my favorite characters in the first season, ended up like cheating on her partner and having a whole cheating based storyline. But I think like one of the things that frustrated me most with that show was the character of Farm, who in the first season of the show was basically groomed by Dr. Bright and like lured into this really unhealthy, like emotionally abusive relationship with this older doctor. And then in season 2, like they basically made Farm's character become Dr. Bright to like another younger guy in the show. Like
Yeah.
I get that it was supposed to be like his trauma response to what he experienced. Like he turned into the person that abused him. But I think it wasn't handled well. It wasn't handled well at all. Like he basically like there was nothing of like saying anything towards the actions that Bright put on Farm in the first season, nor towards like what Farm was doing towards this other character in the second season. And so like just having him turn into the person that hurt him just felt so like it's like they felt like they needed that kind of character in the show for some reason, and like Farm was the person they decided to make that character. And it was another one where it just like did not fit him at all. Like it didn't make sense for that to be the way his character reacted to the things that happened to him. And yeah, I don't know. I just like it's one of those things where it shouldn't have happened. Like there was no reason for this show to have a second season. I think it became a thing purely because of Max and Tool's popularity at the time. And it was clear that they didn't really have any real intentions in mind of what they wanted a second season to be. So they just kind of created drama and miscommunication and misunderstanding out of every aspect of the show that they could. And I honestly like don't even remember. I think it had a happy ending. It had to have a happy ending because it was a BL in like 2018. Like, but it's just like one of those things where like I don't even really remember like how it ended, because by the time the show came to an end, I just didn't care about anything that was happening because I was so angry about all of it. So yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I've said it before,
seems like,
but it was the first one that came to mind for this topic.
yeah, they said throw every trope possible in the second season, it sounds like.
And none of them worked. None of them worked well or were done well at all.
The stuff with the doctor and the cycle of abuse it's really crazy, because I can just imagine that I definitely see them mishandling that. So I'm like, yeah, why even put that in there in the first place? But I don't know. I don't know. For fun.
Yeah. For fun. Emotional abuse for fun. Why not? Instead of like, it's one of those stories where like, yeah, if they handled it with like respect to understanding like why Farm's trauma was informing his behavior, it could have worked, showing some consequence to everything that was happening, but that's not how they did it. So it just did not hit well. It didn't land. Yeah.
It's disappointing. So, my next one, I don't think you've seen it either, Alexa. Pixie, I can't remember if you said that you watched it. And also, I don't know if this is like generally a controversial one, but like I'm gonna need people to hear me out on this one. Because I do think that it was a good series, but I guess like some of it's one of those things where like it had good elements in it, but I maybe didn't like how things turned out in the end. So kind of similar to Playboyy, but this show is better than Playboyy, trust me. 4 minutes. 4
That's what I thought you were gonna say.
I watched a couple of episodes. I didn't finish it.
Okay, so I'm probably gonna have to give some like spoilers to explain why this show pissed me off so much.
I'm not gonna watch it. So.
It really was like all in the details. So basically all you need to know about this series is that none of the characters deserved a second chance. None of them, except for maybe one, which I'll talk about. And also like I think the people in the show that deserved the second chance were the people who were being harmed by those who got the second chances. Like there were a lot of characters who ended up being collateral damage in the show that were like genuinely just like good people. And they ended up dying. But yeah, for example, okay, let me set the scene for you. So Bible's character, Great. The show basically starts off with him killing someone in a hit and run. Oh, but plot twist. He can travel 4 minutes in time. So the second time that it happens, he decides that he's going to stop and try to save the person's life instead of driving off like he did the first time. So that like creates this butterfly effect where like things like he basically fucked up his own timeline of his life. So now he like has to keep going and trying to fix things because like terrible things keep happening. His people are like constantly trying to like kill him and like all of this stuff. So it's basically like he's working against fate the whole show. He's working against his fate. And so yeah, it's a show where like no one is a good person necessarily, which I kind of get. Like everyone is involved in some type of corruption, some type of like cover up or just like questionable behavior, minus Tonkla, who is, I always forget how to pronounce his name. He's the young one, the young actor.
Right. Fuaz or something like that, I think.
Fuaz. Something like that, Fuaz. He was the only good character in this show. Like, he was the only one that you were like, he's kind of like a victim of his circumstances. And I have like, I think separate criticisms about like some things that they did with his character in the show too, because you know, like Beyond Cloud are kind of infamous at this point for putting like really young actors in like these graphic like NC scenes or like very like traumatic like sexual scenes, which they did in this show with him. But that's like honestly that's like a whole nother topic to this one. But then okay, so other than those characters, you have, it's a lot, there's a lot going on. So you have what's his name? You have Bass's character, Korn, who he's like this rich businessman, heir to his family's business, and they do a lot of corrupt things with like money laundering and gambling. And he is kind of in a relationship with Tonkla. Kind of. Like they've been seeing each other since they were in university. But he's not committed to him. And I'm pretty sure that he has like a fiance or like this woman that he's supposed to marry or expected to marry. So because Tonkla feels unloved by Korn, he starts sleeping with JJ's character, who is the inspector who's investigating his brother's death. So you're just like, I'm just trying to paint the picture of how Tonkla is just kind of like not in a great space the whole time. And there are like a lot of things in his past that were like really traumatic that happened. So like he's basically one of those characters who are just like suffering to suffer.
Yeah.
Suffering to suffer. And so I think this series really pissed me off because I felt like the people who died should have lived and the people who lived should have died. Like the way that the series like weighed some people's crimes and actions over others is very interesting. It felt like some things were like almost seen as forgivable while other things weren't, and I was just like, I don't know if you can really weigh these things against each other, but I guess Great did redeem himself in the end because like he kind of learns at his big age to be a good person. I don't know. That again, I'm like, you had to like almost die like every day of your life to be like, oh wow, I should probably not be a terrible person. But and then this is a big spoiler, character death. Although this was my favorite scene in the whole show, and I thought it was the most emotionally impactful, Tonkla and Korn did not have to die Romeo and Juliet style. Like they did not have to, because they basically get caught and Korn has like the police after him and Tonkla's like, no, I'm in love with you, so we're gonna run away together, and then they kill themselves. And I'm just like, why did Tonkla die? Why did the only character in the show who was left, other than I guess the doctor, who was Bible's Jess's character, I can't remember the character's name, I guess other than him, but I don't know, the ending, I just felt like Great's character did not deserve the ending. Like, why did things end so like happy and hopeful for him, and then like everyone else, it was kind of like they suffered just to die.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminded me of this quote that my sister and I always say, that's terrible people live the longest. Because I just came out of that show being like, okay, so terrible people live the longest. Terrible people win in the end. Terrible people prevail. Like, maybe that was part of the message of the show. I don't know. Or maybe they were trying to just like highlight his, I don't know, his character development. But I think also the fact that I feel like sometimes Beyond Cloud tries to be like fake woke edgy about their shows piss me off too.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like Beyond Cloud is always trying to be a different and just like out there, and it's just like it's not hitting.
Sorry. I think that's a big part of it, honestly, is that like I can see maybe messages that they were trying to portray or depict through the show, but Beyond Cloud just feels so insincere to me. Like, they really feel like edgy just for shock value and to be fake woke. Like, they don't actually, I don't know, like care about anything beyond surface level. So I think that is that's a big thing that I just left the show with, and it sucks because like I think the show is really well made. Like all the effects in it, the characters, the premise of the story. Like, okay, he dies at this certain time, so that's like why the number is 4, and just like all the symbolism with that, the numerology, if you will. But I don't know. I think I just personally, the show ended on a note that I didn't like and that I didn't think that it should end on. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it. It just really made me mad.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
I think like
that made sense.
the only reason I watched like the first how many episodes did I watch? 3 maybe? I don't know. The reason was because like the filming, the aesthetics, like how they filmed a lot of the shots, the overhead shot was pretty amazing. Like, there was so many moments that was filmed so well and done so well, considering it's kind of like a fantasy show with the whole time traveling. They did that really well. The quality of that is great, but I agree, there was something about the story that just couldn't keep me watching. And yeah, I usually like that type of show, so I was just like, I don't understand why I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, I don't know. I think also, like, Alexa, you talked about before, like, being really drawn to, like, characters in a show. Like, you have to like a character in a show. So the fact that I didn't really like anyone in the show and, in fact, like, hated most of them probably contributed to it, too, because I was just like, who is there to relate to in this show?
Yeah.
What is there to resonate with? I don't know. I personally couldn't. So it angered me and made me mad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get that.
Okay. I want to mention a show that I was scrolling through my drama list a little bit. This is one that I know we all hated because we watched it together. For everyone, you can go on our, I think it's on our Patreon. Like, we have a reaction clip for episode 1 and 2.
Oh God.
Dinosaur Love.
Oh God.
I don't even know where to start with this one. I will mention, like, I found this so funny. If you look at my drama list and look at the episode, how they're rated, it starts at a 7.1 for episode 1, which is really low, but it just goes down from there. It's just down.
The people realize
the last episode has a 5.3.
Oh my goodness.
This is oh my god.
No, it's probably the lowest rated BL show on my drama list, and there's a reason for it. I one of the things that I remember really annoying me, this like if we look away from the like sexual abuse and stuff, was the comedic sounds that was going on all the fucking time. I hate those sounds normally, and that's if they use them sparingly. But it was all the time. And didn't they make the horse sound whenever one of the guys like no,
Probably.
No.
I
don't know if you guys
remember
remember the storyline at all.
not really. I remember us thinking it was so funny that like the main guy, he was just always smiling and like off in his own world.
Mm-hmm. They put him in really like pastel clothing, and like he's supposed to like he looked so empty, like earhead.
Yes,
there was nothing there.
Yes. And then I remember us getting mad about like a scene where is it his boyfriend that confronts him in like a bathroom or something and like gaslights him?
Yeah. It was because his boyfriend was cheating on him with his best friend.
Yeah.
Right.
And then like he's like gaslighting him in the bathroom, and then like the best friend is listening the whole time and like also starts gaslighting him about it. And it was just like the disbelief I felt watching that scene, and just like the way those two people were like so convinced that like they were not in the wrong. Like it was just it was like beyond it was ridiculous. That's the only way I can describe it, is as ridiculous. Like it was just ridiculous to watch and try and comprehend.
And that part was ridiculous. But the new love interest coming in, Dino, whatever his name is, he was controlling, manipulative, like stalker, like this is the most toxic male character I've ever seen.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I feel like there are so many BLs that, not even just BLs, like so many dramas that have like that as the main lead, and like they try and make it seem like it's a good thing, when it never is. Like they're like, oh, it's so romantic that he always wants to
he's stalking him,
do certain things, or like
And I love like the description of my drama list says Dino isn't afraid to make his feelings known. Unwavering, he waits for his junior to be shaken and open his heart to going out with him. Dude, no is no. No is no. Thank you. I remember that show was supposed to have like 4 seasons or something.
Yeah, it was like they had like different it was like an anthology type thing. Where each season was supposed to have like a different animal themed main character, named main character. Yeah, safe to say we never got past season 1.
No, or like episode 2. I don't.
Yeah, I didn't watch it beyond the episodes we reacted to. So power to you for powering through on that. I think Heather tried to watch more of it too, but
it's one of those you need to hate watch. Like you're just watching it to like say shit about what's happening. Yeah. No, it's so horrible. I will say that I think it's worse than Waterboy, and that is saying a lot. Because I also hate Waterboy, but I'm not gonna go on a rant about it because I've done that so many times.
Yeah.
No, if you want to see us live just getting all shocked about what the fuck is going on in that show, you can go on our Patreon.
Yeah, that was when we were together in Thailand too. So we were sitting together watching that in real time, just screaming at the TV.
We were looking forward to watching it as well. Like, this was like, we'd seen the trailer and we were like, okay, we can do this. But no.
We couldn't do it.
Alas.
We couldn't do it. Ooh, yeah. What a time. What a time that was. My next one that I have to talk about is another one that I have talked about before, in some capacity. And I guess this might be my somewhat controversial take. But I also know there are a lot of other people that share the same sentiment. But as we all know, I was very angry with the way last Twilight ended.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I was going to say, Kayla, I know you share this sentiment. We talked about this a lot, and we did a deep dive with Freddie. That's on our channel. We did a deep dive of the whole series. But a lot of my frustration with this show comes from the fact that the first 9 episodes were like some of the best TV that I had watched in a long time. Like, if the show had ended with them on the mountain and Day like losing his vision for good, it would have been one of my favorite shows of all time. Yeah. Like, I think they did a lot that was so good up until that point. And then it's just like they had gotten to this point with Day's acceptance of losing his vision. He had done like these final things that he wanted to see before it had gone. Like, he was in a good place with himself, with his disability. And then it's like the final 3 episodes of the show, they just could not be okay with that. The first thing I was really pissed off about was the way the show treated Mulk in the last 3 episodes, and the way they just had like this complete disregard for his trauma that he had gone through with the death of his sister, and that informing his actions, and the way that he felt like he was the only one who had to take the blame for like their conflicts and their breakup, when Day was also playing a part in a lot of the things that were causing issue between them. But it was in the end, like, they made it seem like Mulk was the only one who had any real hand in the conflict, even though a lot of his reasoning for things was very valid and informed by the things that he had gone through, which the show never really acknowledged, or I guess gave him grace with, it felt like, especially in those final 3 episodes. So that really frustrated me because I really, really connected with Mulk as a character and just felt like he got really shifted at the end of the show. But of course, like, the big thing for me personally, this is how I read it. I know not everyone viewed the finale this way, but Day getting his vision back, and just not even him getting his vision back. Like, I think there's ways they could have done that where it would have made sense for the narrative, but a lot of the language that they used around him getting his vision back, a lot of the way the story was set up in that final episode, to me made it feel like they were trying to say the only way Day could move forward and have a fulfilling life was by having this surgery to get his vision back. I know not everyone interpreted it that way. I know that's not the way it read to everyone, and that's totally valid. But for me, from my feelings, like, I felt very, I remember, like, because I did reactions to this show on Patreon, I had to go back, like, sit on it for an entire night and then go back and, like, record my final thoughts about the show, because I was just so confused about the way that final, like, episode felt to me, and the way that the language around him getting his vision back and the way the show framed it felt to me. Like, it just felt like it went against everything that Day had been working towards in, like, the first 9 episodes of the show. And it just felt, like, really, really frustrating to kind of undo the message of what felt like was supposed to be the message of his character all along for me. So it just left a bad taste in my mouth, watching that final episode. And yeah, it just, like, really, really, probably the most frustration I've ever felt with a show that, like, up until a certain point I had really been enjoying. And yeah, like, I don't really want to get into it too much because we did do a whole deep dive on it. And I also have, like, my reactions on Patreon where I literally, like, recorded, like, a whole 15-minute rant the next day after watching the finale, to share my thoughts about it. But yeah, that was one that was just, like, really disappointing for me because it was a show that I'd found really special. And then it just felt like I could, like, it completely changed the way I viewed the entire show, which really sucked. But yeah, last Twilight final episodes made me very, very upset, to say the least. So just my own feelings on it. I'm not trying to say how anyone else should view it, but yes.
I remember when we were doing the review, because I didn't finish it, and I remember you guys talking about that, and I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this. Because it's like, if they just, like, hadn't miraculously cured him, it would have been a great statement about like living life.
Mm-hmm.
But why it's typical GMM TV to like Disneyfy stuff. I yeah.
Yeah, I actually was thinking about making a video about this topic because GMMTV has done this 3 times in 3 different shows now, where they miraculously cure
You're
blindness. So I'm like, what? There's kind of like a pattern going on here. I don't really understand.
yeah.
But yeah, I agree with everything we said back then and everything you said now.
It's kind of like they think that being blind is on the same level as someone being cured from dying or something, because you're supposed to be happy about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where the brain is, the thought process is there.
Who knows? Okay. We've talked about this next one. I know that we all feel the same about it, but oh my Sunshine Night. Like, what the hell was that series?
Yeah, I almost put this on my list, but I was like...
I was thinking about it too.
I was thinking about it. I was like, did this show make me so mad that I kind of hated it? And I think the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Like, okay, first of all, it's like 5 different shows in one. It's like 3 different genres in one. There's a lot going on. Extreme soap opera vibes, but not even like the entertaining kind. And it just, I think the part of this that makes me the most mad is that I feel like the cast of this show did not deserve to be working on this abomination.
So wasted. It was so wasted.
Like, and okay, the fact that Fluke ended on this note makes me so mad.
Right.
In fact, I'm gonna blame the show for ending Fluke.
No. Like,
because how? Why? How dare they?
Yeah.
It's like, I saw someone talking about this recently, in regards to like Fluke's recent projects and like how inaccessible they are. Like, it's crazy how like Fluke started on the note of Until We Meet Again, and like there was the 609 bedtime story, which was fine but also not great, and then there was Oh My Sunshine Night, which
wasn't there like Close Friends or something?
There was the Close Friends, which was like an anthology like miniseries kind of.
That one.
But yeah, it's just like the trajectory of their BL related projects after Until We Meet Again, just like consistently. And like, I can't really speak to Fluke's current projects with Judo because we haven't been able to watch any of them, but that's also saying something as well. Like, he hasn't been in anything accessible to international fans in like 4 years now. So yeah, it's just, I've seen people talking about like the downfall of Fluke and then like their current projects as well, which it's unfortunate to see, but yeah.
Literally. I think the only good thing to come out of this show was our interview with Pan and No. Like,
I agree. I agree.
Like, it didn't need to be so long. They kept extending how long it was. Why was it so long?
Yeah, it was 17 episodes. For what reason? Even like, for me, like, I liked Pan and No's storyline up until a point, and even that got like unhinged at the end once they started like faking helicopter accidents and deaths and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it got ridiculous.
So drawn out. I think that's the big problem, is everything was so drawn out. And it just made me so angry to think about how I feel like all those actors were wasted in that show, like their potential. And yeah, I'm bitter. I'm bitter about Fluke, and there's not much else for me to say about it. This show really did infuriate me.
Yeah, same.
That's it.
Agreed. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I'll move on. So the next one that I thought of I'm not really like mad about the show in general. It's more mad about the that it was made at all. Because because it's taking advantage of a tragic thing that happened with the cast of Two Moons 2. So, call it what you want. It's a show made by director and he basically based the story off of his experience as the director of Two Moons 2, but with a twist. The in his story plot in Call It What You Want, the director has a relationship with the actor. And so the story like is based off of like what Earth was going through and stuff like, and pretty much puts himself like it's a fan fiction of real life, and it's kind of creepy, and I just don't understand why it was made. And he's been trying to live off this story so much. Like he made a second version of it the next year that is just called Call It What You Want 2022. And he made the second season, and then he released a new one that is Call It What You Want, just changed the name to It's Complicated, that came out in 2023. So we've like, it's been a couple of years since we've talked about this director, but like I don't
clocked
like
out
him.
of everything related to him.
We don't like him.
I've just clocked out of anything he does at this point.
I like Two Moons 2. I actually did like that. Like I don't like the company that made Two Moons 2 because of all the shit that happened there. But I like the show. So it's not like I'm against him as a director. I just think that he shouldn't have made that show.
Yeah, the thing about it is that it felt like very exploitative of someone else's trauma, who you're not sure if that person even gave them permission to use their story or their likeness. So it's kind of like...
Yeah. And it wasn't like it was far in the future of what happened. It was like right after everyone had like gotten to know about it online. Like there was this ongoing thing. Earth had gotten out of the company. There was all this drama about it, and he makes this show just like trying to
capitalize
money off of that, like Earth's trauma. No.
Yeah. We've said it all before.
Yeah, I know we've ranted about him before.
Yeah, that show existing is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one that I definitely blacked. Like I said, I have not thought about him in years. I feel like I've blacked everything related to him out from my BL related memories. Oh my goodness. Okay, my next one I have kind of goes back to Kayla, what you were saying with Oh My Sunshine Night about a show that wasted the potential of the casts. And unfortunately, like I feel like with this pairing in the show is something that seems to repeatedly happen with their series. Sunset X Vibes with Moss and Bank. I did not watch their previous show, Big Dragon, but I did try to watch this one because I thought that, based on the pilot and the trailer, that the concept seemed very interesting. And I think the thing that people have noticed with Moss Bank shows is that the pilot and the trailers and the first couple episodes will seem very interesting. And then after that, you just get a whole lot of nothing in terms of writing, in terms of like decent writing or decent plot. And it seems like they try to carry a lot of their shows on Moss and Bank's chemistry, which can only take you so far. Like I really, really enjoy Moss and Bank as actors, as people who we've met and interviewed before. But it is like frustrating to see this be like a pattern with their projects, in that like they seem to have no real substance. Like Sunset X Vibes, started off with like this interesting premise of like having a one night stand with someone and then starting a new job and finding out that person is your boss, which obviously complicates your relationship a little bit. And then there was also these elements of like past lives tied in. They had like these really interesting flashbacks going on with like who they were and how they were connected in their past lives. But it just felt like that kind of stuff did not get any real weight in the story. And when they did start to give it weight, it just seems like it felt like it wasn't well thought out to actually be included in the plot. It felt like they were just trying to coast on chemistry and romance versus like utilizing these interesting concepts they had introduced in the beginning of the show. The show also had like Anda and Lookout, who are Star Hunter's like most popular GL pairing at the moment. And I didn't really connect with their pairing at all. They had like also had like kind of like a boss employee situation going on. I think all of the characters in the show had interesting potential, but it's just like the writing never lives up to what it should for what the actors are delivering, which is just frustrating to have it happen over and over again. But this was one like I really tried with because I really like wanted to enjoy this project and wanted to like enjoy a Moss Bank show, but it just like it just was not there. And it's like unfortunate that this keeps happening with their projects. But really the thing that made me angriest about the show, and this is like a little bit silly but also not, so Banks' character, like once they start dating, wants to come up with like a cute romantic pet name for Moss's character to call him. And the pet name he comes up with is Coon Dad.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Coon Dad, not daddy, not like anything, not even like Pit Babe, Mama, and
not
Papa.
Uncle.
Fucking Coon Dad is his romantic nickname.
No.
What? It's
no.
so just like so silly. It's one of those things where I was like, when that scene happened, I was like, I might have to tap out of this show because like I cannot listen to them. I cannot listen to him calling Moss Coon Dad for the rest of this series. Like, you could not get more unromantic and unsexy if you tried. What is Coon Dad? It's just so silly. But yeah, that's just like the icing on the cake that is like the letdown of what that show had the potential to be, I guess. But yeah, Coon Dad, that was my final straw.
I mean, I feel like that I didn't watch it. Again, I feel like it's the downfall of making a show around a ship instead of making a show that actually has a plot. I did like Big Dragon. I did watch that, and I did like it. It didn't like it didn't invest me enough that I actually remember what happened in it, but I remember enjoy watching it. So, but yeah, I never felt the need to watch Sunset X Vibes. Yeah.
I guess enough time has passed that I can say when they played the trailer at the press conference, I was not impressed. Because I was like, oh, another office drama. And, you know, like office dramas, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
office dramas are really a hit or miss. Like, that it takes a lot to make one interesting. Like, office stuff isn't normally interesting.
And that's why, like, I kind of feel like this one had potential because they were, like, introducing these elements of, like, past lives and, like, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Similar to, like, the vibes that were in The Sign with, like, mythical creatures involved and, like, spirituality and stuff. But it just did not really become a priority in the story, I don't think. So, yeah.
Not watch that. Tried to watch Big Dragon. Couldn't really get into it. Yeah, it's sad that this keeps happening to Moss Bank. Like, they just aren't being given good material, I guess. We need to find
because
them
they were great.
new.
They were great actors, and like we loved meeting them. They're so fun to interview, and just fun people. But like they deserve better.
So, I think I can go through the rest of mine rapid fire because I just have like one sentence on why I didn't like it. And then that's enough said, basically. So I titled this section, Shows That Made Me So Mad I Either Never Finished Them or Struggled to Finish Them. First on the list, Color Rush Season 2.
Oh,
it was just awful all around, and the added lore was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Next one, History 4 Close to You.
Oh, yep. Almost put that one on my list.
They trivialized sexual assault all throughout the show, and it just felt very outdated. We talked about it before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next one, Kiseki Dear to Me.
Oh no.
I couldn't get past the high school student sexualization. I'll never be able to get past it.
Yeah, I had those same feelings about that one.
And then my last one is that Pinoy BL My Day. Just not interesting at all. Female characters were very stereotypical. They could have done more. We know that the Pinoy BLs can do a lot with a $5 budget, but they were not doing it. So that's it. I'm done.
Oh, dude, that you mentioned, like, now I'm angry all over again because of my taste. No. Okay, I'm just... Calm down. Okay, I have two quick ones. Dangerous Romance wasn't very dangerous at all. That's my issue with that one. Don't Say No.
Oh, that's a good one.
I had that one on my
Please
list.
Say no. No.
Please say no.
No. Okay.
Yeah. I had Don't Say No on my list, and my sentence, I just had hashtag justice for Pulpger. Because the cat didn't need to fucking die. Why did the cat die?
Yeah, why did that happen?
The cat didn't need to fucking die. Justice for Pulpger.
Oh my god.
That's all I have to say about that show. But it was on my list as well. The other one I had was Gen Y Season 1 and Season 2. It was a Two Moons dupe, but like worse. It did not have any plot. And also the whole thing about like letting the fans choose who the main character ended up with for the sake of an ad.
Thing?
Yeah, ridiculous. And also the random supernatural element that they added in also came out of nowhere and had no reason to be there.
Nope.
And then the other one I had, enjoyed the show as a whole, but we've talked about before, and We Best Love Season 2, when he goes to see him in America. And then sees him with the woman and just fucking leaves without saying anything. That was my example of just like one situation in a show that pissed me off in a show that I otherwise like really enjoyed. So I do think in terms of Season 2's, that one was really well done, but the fact that that was the note it started on and caused so much miscommunication was just like ridiculous.
Yeah, it made no sense.
But yeah, those are my final ones that I had that I didn't have as much to say about. So all right, well, I feel like it's good every once in a while to get out your frustrations about shows and kind of sometimes maybe relive some not so savory memories that we have forgotten, but it makes for a good laugh. So let us know in the comments below, what are some BL shows or moments that frustrated you, made you angry, maybe were enough to make you drop a show. Let us know if you agree with any of our picks, if our feelings about them resonated with you as well. I feel like this is going to be a kind of comment section where people can just rant, but as always, please be respectful. Like, don't be weird about your rants. We always try to encourage respectful ranting and expressing of your frustrations. But yeah, let us know in the comments some shows that made you angry for whatever reasons those might be. And if you enjoyed the episode, please be sure to like and subscribe in addition to leaving a comment. That's all the stuff that helps us out with the algorithm. You can also find our Lovecast socials down below, as well as our Patreon, where we have a lot of exclusive content. We're doing recaps of Revamp right now. We have a lot of reactions over there to shows like we mentioned earlier in this episode. We do early access to reviews and episodes and guest announcements as well, so you can find all that stuff on our Patreon. And it's a great way to support Lovecast if you're interested. But that is going to be all for this week's episode, and we will see you guys again in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.